let's reorganize my bookshelves. I have a lot of books. They're like around me. You can't see all of them right now, but they're there. And so I have 6 shelves. I have 1, 2, and then 4 over here. And so I had them originally set up that this shelf was like all books that I had by the same author, but they weren't series. Then this one was all my romance, and then these were all my series. But I think I want to change that. So on the first shelf here, I'm gonna do all my series, which is like when I first had my shelves, that's how I had them. I'm gonna put it back. I like them over there. Then this one over here, I'm gonna do like all books by the same author that aren't necessarily like series. So all my like books play together, you know. And then I think I'm gonna do my romances on these shelves. I'm gonna do like romances categorized by trope so that when I want one, I know where it is. So because this is a lot of books, I'm gonna like time lapse a lot of stuff, and we're gonna get started doing that. Okay, as you can see, I've moved things around a little bit. So on this shelf, I'm gonna start putting on my series, and I'm gonna time lapse it so that you don't have to sit through and watch me do it individually.
I was in the missing just the other day, while having coffee all alone, and Lord, it took me away back to a first glance, feeling on New York time. Back when you fit in my poems like a perfect rhyme, took off faster than a green light go. Yeah, you skip the conversation when you already know. I left a note on the doorway.
I moved you a little closer now because this shelf is all done. I'll give you an up close when they're all done. I'll show you how they all look. But then over here, I started with my Chloe Lisi books. Chloe Lisi. I feel like I always say it wrong. Those are over there. The Bergman Brothers started on the bottom. Finished up there because I have 2 books by her that aren't part of the Bergman Brothers, but they're still by her, so I want them all together. And now on this shelf, I'm gonna time lapse it again. I'm just gonna put books that I have that are by the same author, aren't in the same series.
Skip the conversation when you already know. I left a note on the doorway, the drug we'd made, and that was the first step.
So I've kind of, I think, finished this one of all books I have that are by the same author. I'm sure there's more in these piles somewhere. I just have to find them. But for now, I have this whole bottom shelf next to the selection open. So I'm going to put all of the books that were sent to me, which is pretty awesome that I get to say that. Okay, I migrated to these shelves. So on this one and probably this one, I'm going to sort all of my romances by trope. So first I'm just going to put them in piles, and then I'll tell you which ones are going to go. So I sorted everything out. You can't see it because it's all on the floor, but I have piles everywhere. So starting on this shelf, I'm going to start with my all-time favorite trope, which is fake dating. So I'm going to do fake dating, and then I'm going to do my sports, which most of my physical ones are figure skating. But I have a couple football on there, so I'm going to throw those in there, I think. And then this shelf on the bottom here, I'm going to put my cowboys and my like romances that take place like in a specific location, because I think that's fun too. So I'm going to time lapse me doing that, and then we'll move on to the next shelf.
Darling, it was good.
So I finished that shelf. I ended up putting my fake dating, my cowboys and sports and everything. And then on the bottom, I ended up doing my like time loop weird like books. I don't know how to explain them, but they're books like the 7-Year Slip and Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. Like, I don't know, kind of like they're stuck in a time loop kind of books. And or they see dead people, I don't know, but that's that category down there. And I put my Christmas romances down there. So this shelf, I'm going to put my Second Chance and my Enemies to Lovers, and I believe I can also fit my books where they make a bet for things. I actually only took up a shelf and a half of all of my Second Chance, Enemies to Lovers, and Making a Bet books. So now I'm just gonna put all of my other romance books that like I personally feel like don't fall under any of the categories, but are also just romance books. So I'm gonna stick those in. Okay, so my next category is books that aren't like classified as a romance, but I think because a lot of them I haven't read yet, I think that they have a romance subplot. So that's gonna go on this shelf here. All like fantasy books or like regular books or whatever that have a romance subplot are gonna go here.
And right there where we
So that literally took up like one shelf. So under that, I'm gonna put all of my like mystery and thriller books.
stood was holy ground.
So that's done. And so next to that, and then on this shelf over here, you can't even see me. On this shelf over here, I'm gonna put all my like general fiction and kind of whatever is left over. The rest of them on. But the shelves are all done. They're not decorated yet, but they are done. So I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna show you what I did with all of my shelves. Okay, so on this one, I have Tessa and Scott up here, really important. And can we just appreciate how nicely the Addicted series fits up here? It's beautiful. Addicted for now, kind of got boot, but it's okay. Then I have the Twisted series, all of my Lauren Asher books, my Summer I Turn Pretty series, Icebreaker and Wildfire, and then Emily Tudor's little series over here. I believe it's called the Grand Mountain series. The second one I have on my Kindle, that's why it's not on the shelf. But anyway, we come down here and we have Funny Feelings. No, just kidding. We have Funny You Should Ask, and then we have Chloe Gong, we have My Fantastic Beasts, and then we have all of my Hunger Games. Then Shadow and Bone and Crooked Kingdom, which I don't even think are part of the same series, but it's fine. My Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Then down here, I have in the corner, it's my Bad Girls Don't Die series. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about those, but I love them. Then right here, the little two is my It Figures series. I love those. It's my entire off-campus series. I do have 2 copies of the deal. We're not going to talk about it. Then my 2 other Elle Kennedy books because I wanted them to be together. Then we have the beginning of my Bergman Brothers. Then we pop up the shelf and come up here where we have the rest of my Bergman Brothers. And we have The Mistletoe Motive and Two Wrongs Make a Right, which are both also by the same author, but they're just not part of the Bergman Brothers series. So those are there. And then I have my Spanish Love Deception. I don't know if the 3 of these are series or if... I think they're like all connected. They're like interconnected standalones. So they all go together. Then I have The Way I Used to Be and The Way I Am Now. And The Last to Let Go is not part of these, but it's the same author, so I want them together. Then I have Fourth Wing, which don't come from me, I haven't read it yet. Then I have One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next. And now we start the books that are by the same author, they're just not part of the same series. So I have my Rebecca Sturley books. Then we come down here to my Hannah Trophy Shelf corner over here. Looks beautiful. Then we have my Emily Henry right next to it. They go great together. Then we have Lynn Painter, Kelly Quinlan, and K.L. Walther, The Summer of Broken Rules, and the one after that. Again, I don't know if those are series, so I just put these together because I can't tell if it's a series or not. Then you come down here to all of my Taylor Jenkins Reid books. Beautiful, wonderful. Then Colleen Hoover all over here. Then my 2 Lucy Score books, which I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even read yet. My Carly Fortune books, and then 1,000 Heartbeats goes with the selection over here. They just didn't fit on the same shelf. Then my friend Jessica, her books look great. Then we kind of get into like my romance, but they're the same authors kind of thing. Sarah Holko, Christina Lauren, and B. Celeste, and J.C. Lee. And then starting with Maggie Rodden over here, these are all books that were sent to me, which is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Some of these I actually have 2 copies of, so I'll probably do a giveaway at some point if anybody wants one of those. Anyway, next, we come to the romance section of my bookshelf. So up here, all of these on this first shelf these are all fake dating up until the signature move in which it goes into my figure skating books, and then into my cowboy, which stops with Done and Dusted. I only have 3 cowboy books. And then it goes into like books that take place in other places. So I have Open Road Summer, Anna and the French Kiss, Something Wilder, You with the View, and Kisses and Croissants, because in my brain, like, I know them as the books that take place in certain spots. So that's why I have that category. Down here, I have my books that are kind of like either a time loop or they're like kind of like they see dead people. I really can't explain it, But like I also haven't read any of these, so that's probably why I can't explain it. But like all of these books over here are kind of the same vibe to me. Then you come over here, and these couple are Christmas romances, and then these two are on the end were also books that were sent to me. They just didn't fit on the other shelf. Obviously had to make room somewhere. We come up to these books, and these are my Second Chance as well as my Enemies to Lovers books. Then down here is my books that either take place like through a bet or something, and then just like my miscellaneous romance that like to me, miscellaneous romance down here too, that to me kind of don't fall into any of the categories like in my head. So those are where those are. And then we come down here, starting with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It's partly because I didn't have room on the other shelf, but also this kind of starts my section of books that have like a romance subplot. Addie LaRue has a romance subplot. I'm not sure about the rest of these because I didn't read them. Again, I just wanted my V.E. Schwab books together, and then these two I ran out of room to put somewhere else. They might have a romance subplot, so they might fit there, but we don't know. Then over here is still my books with the romance subplot. I don't know if they're in the right category because I'm not going to lie, I haven't read any of the books on the first shelf. It's just based on what I feel like I know about them. So there's that. And then we come down here, and this starts my mystery thriller books. So all of these are a mystery or thriller or crime book. And then we come down here, and it's kind of the same thing. These are all my mysteries and crimes and things like that. And we come over here. I just have Midnight Sun over there because I didn't know where else to put it. But this shelf is kind of like my miscellaneous fiction and nonfiction. I don't make a habit of reading a lot of like nonfiction, but I have a couple in here. So this is my miscellaneous shelf along with this one. This is also my miscellaneous shelf. If you look at it, it's a hot mess. The last three on the end, not counting Before the Coffee Gets Cold because I believe that's a fiction book, but the rest of them are like nonfiction. So Train Your Brain Like an Olympian, Britney Spears, and Gracie Gold are all nonfiction. And then down here is my, as you can tell, it's kind of a hot mess. So it's my miscellaneous books shelf where I didn't know where to put them. So we have How to Win a Wallflower, To Kill a Mockingbird, the two books that I'm probably going to give away because I already have them. And then this one right here is a collection of Christmas poems and that book that comes apart and you could like try to solve it. One day I'll do that. Not today though. So that's the end of organizing my bookshelves. They're not decorated yet. I still want to get stuff to like put on the tops. And I have my Taylor Swift popcorn bucket that used to be up there, so that's probably going to make an appearance again. But I hope you enjoyed. If I put any of the books, like especially the romance ones, in the wrong like trope category and you've read them, tell me and I'll move it into the right spot because a lot of them I actually haven't read yet. I'm not gonna lie. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.